everybody. Welcome back to ELA. For the last 2 days, we've been talking about chapter 5 in our Harriet Tubman book. We've been discussing the story of Moses and what is it about Harriet that's like the character Moses. So we know that people called Harriet Tubman the Moses of her people. So do you guys remember, why did they call her that? Why did they call Harriet Tubman the Moses of her people? Okay, so the reason why they called her that is because, like the story of Moses in the Bible, Harriet saved slaves and she led them to freedom, just like Moses saved the slaves in Egypt, the Jews, and led them to freedom. So we know that Harriet and other slaves used many tricks when they were running away to freedom. And also we learned about the Underground Railroad and how other people helped the slaves escape north. So what did Harriet and the other slaves do to help them escape from slavery? What did other people do to help runaway slaves escape from slavery? So let's think about that, and then let's talk about what we can remember. So I'm just going to go over the things that we've learned so far about how Harriet and other slaves escaped and how other people helped slaves escape. So we know that runaway slaves walked at night and that they followed the North Star to the north where they could be free. We know that runaway slaves followed rivers that went north because most rivers flow north. White people in the Underground Railroad helped slaves run away. We know that white people hid runaway slaves from slave owners during the day. We know that they gave runaway slaves a ride in either a boat or a wagon sometimes. They would give runaway slaves food and money and new shoes. And one slave kidnapped his sons to bring them north to freedom. So we learned a lot of things about what slaves and other people did to help slaves run away. So slaves did many things to escape freedom. Slave owners were paying people to catch runaway slaves. So it was very dangerous to run away because people were out looking for you because there was reward money being offered for runaway slaves. Today, we're going to learn about what some slaves did to escape to freedom. And I want you guys to think about, if you were a runaway slave, what might you do to escape to freedom? So we are going to be reading an article, Escaping to Freedom, and it is two types of text. One is a fun facts text, and the other is a biography, which is going to give us specific information about one slave. So listen while I read the story out loud. How did people escape from slavery? Running away from slavery was so dangerous. If you got caught, you could be beaten, whipped, or even killed. Slaves had to think of clever ways to escape. The word clever means really smart. Let's read about some of the tricks that slaves used. And I'm down here, and if you can see the picture of the train with someone on top of it, and it says, "This man hid on top of a train. He rode the train north to freedom." Wow, that sounds super, super dangerous, to ride on top of a train all the way north. Then we have this man and woman over here, Ellen and William Craft. And Ellen and William Craft were married. She pretended to be a rich white man. William pretended to be her slave. Oh wow, so this is a woman and she dressed up as a rich white man. She was a slave, and then her husband, who was darker skinned, pretended to be her slave. And then last but not least, down here we have a picture. This is actually a woman, but she is dressed up as a man. It says that this woman dressed up as a man. Sometimes Harriet Tubman dressed up like a man too. So some of the slave women would dress as men so that I guess maybe they would be thought of as a free man and not bothered. Now we're on the back, the biography. Henry Box Brown. Henry Brown escaped from slavery. He was born around 1816. He died 1897. Henry was married by age 15, but his master sold Henry's wife and children. Henry could not save them, so he decided to escape to freedom. Can you guess how? So here's Henry Box Brown. Here's a picture of him. And after his wife and children were sold to another slave master, he decided he was going to escape. Henry's friend Samuel put Henry inside a small box. Samuel mailed the box to Philadelphia, where slavery was illegal. The trick worked, but Samuel was sent to jail for helping Henry. Oh my goodness. So Henry Box Brown fit himself inside this tiny box, 3 feet long and 2 feet wide. And he rode all the way to Philadelphia inside of it. His friend shipped him like he was a package, like an Amazon package. And it actually worked. Can you believe it? Henry stayed in the box for 26 hours. That's a little more than a whole full day and night. Henry was safe in Philadelphia. Later, Henry wrote a book about escaping from slavery. And look, that's Henry being let out of the box and being safe in Philadelphia. What an incredible story. Wow. All right, so now you guys are going to reread the article on your own and answer the attached Google form questions. Make sure to go back, watch this video again, or reread the article again on your own. Look for the answers. All of the answers are in the text. All right, good job, guys.